What's going on YouTube? It is Trev. What you're about to hear is a conversation that I just had a little while ago with former member of the Terra Rebels, PSX-TX. I want to tell you that nothing that is said during this interview has been independently confirmed by me. I don't know that anything that is said is accurate or true. That will be up to the community to do its DD and form its own opinions. I just basically wanted to get you the information, and you can decide what to do with it. This isn't by any means an advertisement for PSX's side. By no means is this an endorsement of his perspective or his actions. As I said, it is basically just to get you the information, and there is a lot of information. Some things that we haven't previously heard. Weigh it accordingly, and do your due diligence. I'm sure that there are going to be other sides of this to come out. So it's about an hour long and jam-packed from beginning to end. So buckle in.
The scenery outside reminds me of my pride, reminds me of my will. At the windowsill, I sit and see the grays, the children, they all play and laugh amongst themselves, somehow remind me of myself on the merry-go-round.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But before I even say anything else, you told me it was all right if I recorded this conversation, and I would like to record it, not to even really probably use for anything, but just so I remember everything that's said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to use it as notes or you want to use it for broadcast, it's perfectly fine.
All right, yeah.
My full consent.
All right, I just wanted to get that clear with you.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, hold on a second. Are you recording right now?
Yep, just started.
Okay, cool. So this is just to confirm that Mr. Trev has got my full consent to record, to use for a broadcast, or to refer back to as notes.
Sounds good.
How's that?
Yep, appreciate that. That's beautiful. So, yeah, what's happening? What's going on?
Anything specific you want to cover?
Well, I mean, so I've talked to a few people already between last night and this morning. It seems that there's about maybe 6 people who have left TR in the wake of this, the payout and kind of all the kerfuffle that's going on around that. Some people have actually, or at least one person that I'm aware of, has actually returned the money. They returned it, I believe, to the TR wallet though, so now it's in TR's hands.
Yes, I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah.
I actually like that.
Yep. Yeah. And there's a couple of people who are trying to figure out how to actually just get it right back into the community pool. And there's obviously questions about when everybody left. Time frame wise. So where are you on it? I know that you left. I know that you're on that list. When did you leave?
I didn't leave. I got booted.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a distinction.
Who told you who's like I knew I was gonna get booted after if you look onto, I could send you. Hold on a second. Let me send you a couple of items. This is my wallet. If you wanna run audits on it, and then let's see. And then if you want, let's see. I can confirm that I got booted. No, that's not it. Let's see. 120. Yeah, I got booted. I'll send you. Yeah. You link. There you go.
Okay, cool.
That's look at you, the timestamp and date around
Okay.
when I got booted.
All right. I'll take a peek at that. But just just for the sake of the conversation, and so I'm not sitting here reading through all this, which I will read through it later.
You can refer. Yeah, that'll refer. You got something you can refer back to.
Right. So what is the time frame? Was this after the money was paid out? Before the money was paid out?
As to
when you were booted.
This was after I got booted.
After you got booted. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold
on a second. Let me make sure I understood that question correctly. Can you repeat that one more time? Make sure I understood.
Yeah. Did you get booted before the money was paid out or after the money was paid out?
I think I want to say after because they paid out. Yeah. I got booted after.
Okay. So you received some of that money, yeah?
No.
No, you didn't receive any of it.
No. I didn't give them my wallet.
Okay. All right. So you were never paid, and then you were booted. And what was the reason that they gave for? And again, I know that I've got this document, and I'll read through it. But just for brevity, what was the reason, kind of in general, that they decided to kick you out?
No reasons given.
Okay.
I can assume why they booted me out, but I can't put words in their mouth.
Okay. Right. And that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So you never received any of that money. You never gave anybody your wallet, so there's nothing to return because you never got any of it. We have your wallet address, and anybody who wants to look that up can verify that.
Absolutely.
There was an accusation that you now have control of the Twitter, that you kind of confiscated it or maybe stole it or whatever. That
would be. I will confirm that. That's quite the understatement.
Okay, so go ahead. Yeah. What happened?
I took over. Me and individuals outside the lunacy community took over. Close friends of mine, colleagues, trusted confidants.
Okay.
So until I know exactly actually I do have an idea what I will do with it when this is all over, but I will tell them right now it will not be handed back.
Yeah. Who was in control of it?
Originally?
Yeah.
Me, Rex. Actually, the better question is like who had access to it?
Okay.
Originally,
sure.
Is that better? So
sure.
Me, Rex. I want to say. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, hold on a second. Actually, let me go by this way. If you had access to the Gmail account, then technically you had access to all the accounts. That would be Hannah, me, Nonner, Clan, and Rex.
Okay, and everybody had access to the password.
Correct. And then there were two other individuals. Salad. No, I think it was a salad for HR reasons because we were since he was my HR buddy, he needed access to the LinkedIn so that way he can start using that as reference points to see what skill sets they would have to see where we can pivot them.
Okay.
So I don't know if LinkedIn would count, but.
So it sounds like, if you've got the password, and anybody who had the password could basically just go in and change the password and don't give it to anybody, right?
Theoretically, yes.
Okay.
That's assuming that the behavior would be executed, but until now.
Yeah. So why did you take over the Twitter? What was the reasoning?
It's more of a long story. I'm going to try to keep it short. So I was notified by Dignan, who was a moderator on the Discord. Let's see, what did he say? What was going on? And I wasn't aware of Zardar leaving the team.
Okay.
So that's how out of tune I was.
So he had already left.
He already left by the time I received the notification from Dignan.
Okay.
He was pretty abrupt about it, so it seemed pretty urgent. So it wasn't quite clear what was going on. Or trying to figure out why is he concerned? I think the question I was asking in my head is like, why is he so freaked out about another dev leaving? I mean, I know he's seniority. I know it's going to leave a bad look on TR, but it like that's nothing new. In my mind, that's nothing new. So why does this situation have to be any different than the previous? Now, TR, after I peeked into what was going on with TR's social media handles, I mean, yeah, obviously there was some backlash going on, and then Dignan had notified me that, and he used the word misappropriated funds. Now I have that in a report, and anybody can view. That's available to the public, and that's what sparked an internal investigation, because I was compelled through conscience and obligations to see what he meant, even though and then this is to his credit, I don't know if I want to credit that, but it was just when he immediately backpedaled, claiming misuse of words. Unfortunately, how long did it take? I can't remember how long it took me to conclude. Well, technically the investigation isn't over. There's a couple more items that I need to look at, and then for me to blow the whistle on this or bring it up to their attention in a manner that previous individuals have attempted, I have no confidence that it would be taken seriously or changes would be made.
Okay.
Goes without saying, like, why would I do the same thing people previously have done and expect different results? I mean, that's the definition of insanity.
Right. So,
I think the question is, why would I?
Yeah, I mean, but I mean,
what?
Yeah, what? But why? But what was it that what was the reasoning, or what was the thought process that said, you know what, I'm gonna lock everybody out of the Twitter, and I'm just gonna take it?
No confidence that anybody would cooperate with me.
Okay.
It's a social circle.
Right.
It's a small club, and I'm not in it.
Okay. So I mean, it sounds vindictive, right? I mean, is that?
No.
Okay.
No, this is very much a lack of trust. This has nothing to do. If other individuals have attempted to raise concerns with the team, and the behavior doesn't change, why would I attempt the same approach?
Okay.
That's the question I'm trying to ask. I mean, why? Like, if that question comes up, it's why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I have no ill will toward anybody.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if it was the decision was to be made, it's I'm going to take the approach, whether anybody agrees or not, lock it out, and then maintain full control of all lines of communications.
All right. And listen, don't take any of this as judgment. Like, I understand people have got their own reasons for doing things and their own perspective on why this might work or that might work. I'm just really trying to understand what actually the gain was, like what you hoped the gain would be by kind of locking them out of their Twitter. Like, can't they just start another Twitter? Or, I mean, I don't know.
Sure, they can start it. I'm not stopping them.
Yeah.
They can use their own personal Twitters.
Right.
I'm not stopping them. If they want to tweet something out, they're welcome to do that. I mean, I can't manage them. I'm not their daddy. They can figure out what they want to do.
Right.
They're adults, you know. I'm not here to provide them any advice or consult with them. But you know, they do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I understand there's no necessarily ill will toward anybody, but I mean, but there's obviously some gripe or some division between, and not only you, you know, there's quite a few people that have left, right? So there's some gripe.
Who said I was griping?
I mean, well, they kicked you out or booted you in your words, and then you locked them out of the Twitter. So I don't know. To me, that feels like great.
I'll add some clarity to that.
Okay.
One, I expected them to boot me out.
Okay.
So that was already in my mind. Two.
Why did you expect them to? What led up to you expecting them to kick you out?
Well, two things was one, plans to take over the social media space. The social media handles was already in place.
Okay.
So that decision was made up until when I consulted with counsel, and they informed me that if we were to take current United States legal framework and apply it here, we're already crossing into multiple jurisdictions of CFTC, maybe SEC, depending on small criteria, but that remains to be seen because Luna Classic is not a securities, and then up into the FBI jurisdiction and Department of Justice is what I was informed.
Okay.
That's what prompted me to take over.
Okay. And there were plans to do that were kind of known, and that was one of the things that you feel prompted them to try to boot you before that happened.
Oh yeah. It's. I expected a knee-jerk reaction.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I saw it coming.
Was there anything else? Was there anything else that led up to you kind of seeing that coming, or was that the primary thing?
That was really the only thing.
Okay.
When I realized it, because I was, they were informed. They didn't inform them that I was conducting an internal investigation already. Originally my view, my initial assumption was that it was just low risk. Like the worst case scenario is more like a slap on the wrist. Like, hey, maybe TR might have miscommunicated what they wanted to pursue for the funds, or how that was going to be used. Somewhere down the line, like false advertising, which is under FCC jurisdiction. Again, just assuming that if we were to apply United States framework on the Luna Classic community. Unfortunately, that was not the case.
Okay.
Then we start going into different kinds of rabbit holes, and that's what really got my attention to take the matter a little bit more seriously.
I wonder why. If they already kind of were aware of your plans to kind of lock up the Twitter.
No, they weren't. They were not. No. That was that decision to not inform them. Based on previous conversations and the inconsistencies on how they communicate with each other, that doesn't adhere to a lot of trust.
Okay.
Not even at the professional level.
All right, I'm confused. I may have misheard you, because when I asked what was it that what were the events that led up to you assuming or kind of knowing ahead of time that they were going to boot you out, I thought that what you told me was that they were aware of your plans to take over the social media thing, and so you thought that they would kick you out. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, you did get that wrong.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I'll add clarity to it. The plan to take over was to take over the social media. Let me shorten that up. To lock everybody out.
Okay.
That decision was made up until when I was informed by counsel that the violations, if assuming taking United States legal framework into and applied here, has already crossed into multiple jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, and I'm not convinced these guys understand the serious situation that they're in, or even appreciate it. So, and the reports, and it's all laid out. I try to keep it as short and easily digestible as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a lot to take in. The original document was much longer, so I kicked out a lot of stuff.
Who was, they're talking about a whistleblower that released all these docs. Any idea who it was?
That was me.
It was you. Okay. I mean, it's seeming that way. I didn't want to just assume. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah. It's all right. I mean, if it was me that made the call, I'll take it. I'll take responsibility for it. It's perfectly fine.
There are going to be people in the community that consider you a hero. So I again, no judgment. I just like to get the information out there. You know what I mean?
It's all right. It's just, conscience compelled me to do what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conscience compelled Tobias to leave. Conscience has compelled a lot of people to do things, and I have no problem with people acting on their conscience. Everybody kind of does things in their own way, and it's not really up to us to judge how people think things need to go. Although I'm sure we all have opinions.
Well, yeah. I mean, it might be naive. I'm going to be judged one way or another by somebody who. Like Gattigan, for example, like I saw some of his tweets, and I empathize how he feels because he does not want, he wants sovereignty on this chain. It's like, I get that. I'm fully empathetic. Alex even voiced the same concern. Like, do we outsource outside governance? I mean, the FBI under the RICO Act, I mean, that's, if you understood what I was informed of about that piece of legislation, it is some gnarly powers given to the FBI. It is scary as fuck.
Yeah.
And the way it was addressed to me was, it's so broad in its legal definition that it can be interpreted however the FBI sees fit. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's some real power right there.
Yeah.
I hope the community can find a solution to where they can levy punishment that would fit the crime. If, say, like if you were to adopt similar justice system, much like the United States, where a judge and jury would bring these individuals to face charges if they were, say, so filed against them. Again, that's I want things to go through the process. So I'm, for the most part, if not at all times, I keep my hands off.
Yeah.
And I don't make the move until I need to, and nobody knows what that move is until I make it. So keeps me in check.
In your estimation, Tiara's done?
I don't know.
I mean, they're down to what, like 5 members at this point?
I don't know.
And who's? Well, I can tell you, Rex is left, Clan, Raider, Hannah, and Echelon. I don't think anybody else is left. Is that enough to even get anything done?
I don't know. I know that a lot. I mean, I'm not in there, so I have no idea. I know that I'm not going to allow them just to simply walk away.
Yeah.
That's what I do know. And I'll make this very clear. My boot stays on the neck.
I mean, and I, that is whatever it is. It sounds like there's animosity,
There's been a lot of disrespect that's been going on, so enough is enough. But when this conversation came up between me and Dignan, it you misappropriated funds. Then I find out, and at least to my interpretation, and this is not, I'm trying to treat this like if it was a court of law. Trying to remember my time in the court system. If the wording of the Agoro proposal is treated like a contract, and the signatures are the votes for approval, and then you have individuals that are acting outside of the original context of that proposal, the act of fraud has been committed.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, now, no, I'm following you, yeah.
Yeah. Now, at that time when that act was committed, I'm trying to remember how the attorneys, it is not fun sitting in front of attorneys giving you a lowdown. It's just an earful. If the act is committed, does that entail intent to commit fraud? The answer is, at that point, you don't know yet, because it could stem from, and this is a leg up for them, it could stem from, that, I'm trying to word it correctly. They may not know better, because it's the first case that I've seen something like this happen.
I've always heard that ignorance does not excuse the law.
Right. A judge would rule that way. It's like ignorance of the law is not an excuse. I would immediately rule that. And then I see internal communications and team discussions and with Venus, because she vehemently voiced her protest. And then a voice of protest, and that screenshot is in the report.
I'm sorry, who's this, Venus?
Venus protest heavily, like, she was really upset. The internal proposal that was put up to supersede the proposal,
yeah,
and it's worded there. It's worded in the internal proposal, like superseded to proposal. And Venus voiced her concern that they move forward within it. Move forward with the redistribution of funds. That entails, that may, and again, I don't know, that's up to a court. If we take it to court, then it would be up for them to decide through litigation and legal arguments. Then I could say that they knew and they moved forward with it anyways, and that the intent was already there.
That's
knowing that it wouldn't. Yeah.
That's a little. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. That's a little surprising to hear. Only because, and again, I'm only hearing this stuff. I wasn't there, but I heard that there was an AMA that was held where Venus was declaring how she deserved that money.
I can't comment on that. If I was in it, I either left, because I was in an AMA with her with Mr. Diamonds. But because I'm not here to incriminate her. I mean, what she did was right. I do agree with that. But if you were to ask me if she accepted the money, and again, I would rather the lunacy community dictate judgment on her on that one. But because she accepted it, it still makes her culpable.
Yeah. She's making every effort, it seems, right now to return it. They have actually spoken with Ed, and Ed has given them some ideas. And as a matter of fact, as we've been talking, I just, because I had sent a question to Ed, and I just got a reply from him, and he says it is absolutely possible to get that money right back into the community pool. So he's given them some instructions on how to do it, whether they're able to do it with their, current equipment or whatever the deal is. I don't know. So, but she's making an effort to get it back in. But, matter of fact, and I'll be talking to her soon too, but, because I spoke with her for a while last night. But yeah, there is that question out there that's, well, she said that she deserved the money, and then she really didn't make any effort to try to get it back or do any of these things until after all this legal assessment was kind of
right. So unfortunately, if she was not, I mean, going by the original Gore proposal / contract, if she was not able to contribute to any of, and this is not an indictment of her. I mean, again, this is something that you would take this case or legal argument to whatever jurisdiction you reside in. If and I even asked this to counsel, if the contract specifies the itemized projects, let's see, I can pull it up real quick. If she was not able to contribute in any manner proposed in the proposal, provisions on backend infrastructures, refactor, move TFL, blah, blah, blah. The list, you know what I'm talking about? That list, mobile applications, desktop applications, Finder applications, ongoing technical support. So if she's not able to put in the work that would directly contribute to this, her accepting that money, we're just sticking to what's being said, what was agreed upon between two parties, TR and the community. Mm-hmm. I mean, like anything acting outside of that is an offense committed.
What is your what is your back? Do you have some sort of legal background?
I've been in the legal environments, compliance with specifically in the finance industry. I've worked with general counsels. It's not something I advertise, nor do I care to talk about.
Right, but you don't have any kind of law degree or anything like that.
No law degree, no bar license.
Yeah,
but okay. I have more than enough experience that I care to admit to speak to it.
Okay. Yeah. You got to be careful what you say nowadays because everybody's trying to figure out who everybody is, I am totally against, doxing someone who doesn't wish to be doxed, and I think we've got plenty of evidence to show why that's not a good idea.
Yeah, the screenshot, the link that I just sent you was, it was a, I don't know where Rex was getting off thinking that, making a loose threat against me. Probably not the smartest move. But you'll have that screenshotted. The other part was potential of obstruction of justice. If said authorities were to pursue this case, and an legal investigation was to be moved, I did find things that seemed to be moved around and deleted for whatever reason. I don't know, but if that can't be removed, if say like a officer was investigating and said, "Hey, PSX said this, he's got that. I need the original file." can you please provide that? And said suspect was not able to provide it. And it's like, well, where is it? Then that would fall under the scope, or I'm trying to remember. There was another piece that's informed that was before you get to obstruction of justice charges. I think it was like one or two pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. I haven't had time to really go through all of those, with Christmas and everything that's happened. I haven't had time to really read through all those documents, and I'm not even going to suggest that I've got any kind of legalese ability to really understand them anyway. But that's why I like to talk to you guys, so that you can give me your perspective on it,
Right. Yeah, and again, this was not prompted by any. I don't have any animosity to the guys. I mean, but have I been disrespected? Yeah, plenty of times, but I don't hold grudges. But again, like I said, my boot stays on their neck until I figure out, what course of action I'm going to take, what course of action the lunacy community wants to take. I'm just going to keep them pinned to the wall until there's clarity on everybody's ends on what the next move is going to make. And I'm watching. I'm keeping my eye on it. Maybe this would have been avoided had I been more been able to pay more close attention to what was going on. So where I could have voiced my concerns. But I mean, again, as the list says, I'm an actor because I got work and everything. So, yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you a better idea, and you can take that and interpret it however which way you want.
Yeah, no, it absolutely gives me a better idea, and I don't think it's my position to try to interpret it. The words are the words. It is what it is. It's up to really the community to interpret it the way that they want.
Yeah.
So, if you know anything about me, of watching any of my videos, I've really been a supporter of TR since the beginning. I mean, a big appreciation for everything that's been accomplished. And I think the community overall really revered this organization. But obviously things have come to light, recently that are kind of changing that perspective. But I mean, this has always been a question of mine. What is the actual internal vibe in TR? Because it seems like everyone that is left, there's always finger pointing, and nobody ever leaves and says, I love the organization, they're great guys, but I've got some other things that I'm going to go do now, and everybody, hey, wish you the best. That never seems to happen. It's always finger pointing and kind of a little bit of mudslinging. Why is that?
That I can't speak to for the reasons that because my role in it was the communications director for TR.
Okay.
It was just to help provide communications infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we actually created a separate server for reasons that I did not want that kind of behavior leaking in to leak into how we manage our processes and standard operating procedures. My goal was to help educate. I mean, apparently I failed miserably on that one, so that's my fuck up or my loss, because I wasn't able to put more focus on that one. We had a really big challenge on our hands. One, because there was so much turnaround taking place within TR prior before the onboarding that we had to make up 5 to 6 months of lost time because the previous teams weren't able to accomplish whatever the goals were. Roy Monday, who was temporarily on the team, created a separate group away from it, which just to kind of silo the team, the new team to where we can just focus on what direction we want to go. That was a good idea after what I had briefly seen. Unfortunately, when I was boarded on, there was a lot of, I should say, like if you were a new employee to word onto a company, you saw that was the behavior, the odds are that you were going to need to immediately leave soon after. And yeah, it was just not a good impression in my eyes. Roy had I asked Roy to create a server, a TR server, a TR marketing server that would be exclusively just for that team, to where we just focus on our work and discuss. And then as we were looking to expand different social media platforms, we needed to create different channels that would help organize. It's kind of like a filing system, if you will, and how things would, and how we were able to inquire in such matters. Soon, every now and then I peek my head into team discussions, but to be honest, that team discussions, for whatever reason, is like a giant break room, and nobody knows when to get out and get back to their desks and work. So I'll stick my head in there. I'm like, no. It's so counterproductive. And as to why so many of them spend so much time in there chatting away, it's like, I don't understand how they're able to get anything done. I don't even understand why Slack isn't being used, or why isn't, and even when Microsoft Office was finally implemented, it's like, why aren't we using more of this? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Venus had informed me that there's a separate channel of some sort that internal discussions or proposals are made that quite often may come off as, and I can't confirm this, you'll have to ask her direct to get more of the details, that where they make internal decisions that may override community vote, if you will.
Okay.
And so the proposal that I came across that was authored by Radar, and its original form said, confirms her claim, when in the document it says supersedes the previous proposal.
Okay.
So we have a blatant violation of contractual agreements between two parties. Going back to the behaviors and the culture within TR, it's been. I don't know. I think they have an issue of attrition, and they have an issue of I don't know. Let's just say, and I can send you like one example, like Echelon's behavior. It seems like it's not a isolated incident. It seems like, let's see, send you the full text. It's a brief one, but this might give you an idea on how this may come off.
Okay.
But the tone of it doesn't sit well with me, especially if you're going to make a first impression on somebody, first time communications. But this behavior, I would say in a professional environment, will get you reprimanded.
Yeah, send it, and I'll look through it when we wrap.
It's like it's a quick trip to HR. I could say that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So those are a few of the links. You got my wallets. I don't know the game that certain members of TR are trying to play. All I know is that after I'm not done with my investigations, because there's a couple more items I need to look into. Is my case? Does the case that I present raise a lot of concerns? Sure.
Yeah.
That's provided if we apply the United States legal framework here. and then it's a different kind of hell.
Hmm.
You know, this is not something I want.
Is it?
Go ahead.
And again, excuse me for just kind of not being up on everything that's happened over the last like 24 hours or so.
No.
But is
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. Okay. I will tell you this. I have been the person behind the scenes trying to push your name out there.
I'm sorry, trying to push what?
Your name out there.
Okay.
The support, like all the videos and that have been being put together. I was trying to. I'm also a big fan of your content.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been really trying to ham it down, just trying to push, because like I think and I know this is a little off topic, but what makes it so hard to push you out there is you're not clickbaity.
No, I refuse to be. Did you?
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
Man, just clickbait one time, man. Just clickbait.
Well, I did. Did you see it? Did you see the experiment that I did?
I did see that. I was like, can you just clickbait one time? And it's like, oh, finally. It's like, that makes it. But you did it a little too late, And I was like, man, if it was just. I mean, again, like I'm typically hands off. Like I don't want to meddle around. I don't interfere with anybody's business or work. Like how you do things has to be solely based on their discretions without outside interference. But I was really trying to push you out there, quietly push you out there. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you click. Yeah, I mean, but again, it's like I love it that he's not clickbaity, but I have those moments where I'm like, I wish he was a little clickbaity.
Well, join the club. I mean, consciously. I mean, talking about having to do things according to your conscience. It's tough for me to look at that little experiment I did and see how many views it got within a 24-hour period, right?
I know.
Then not say, well, this is the way,
Yeah.
But I just don't want to do it. And if I'm never as popular as some of these other guys, and I'm never as popular as them. If my channel takes forever to grow because of it, then it takes forever to grow. I've got a good job and I make decent money, right?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely.
So I don't want to go that route. And if you have to go that route, then c'est la vie. But I mean, I'm not going to do it. I just won't. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you or anybody who's behind the scenes trying to push. Hey, here's some real stuff to listen to. The question I was going to ask is it common knowledge already? I was saying, because I'm not aware, because I've kind of been off doing other things, but is it common knowledge already that you're kind of the whistleblower? You're the one who put this document out there?
I don't know. I just know that I'm the one who put it out there.
Well, have you told anybody else besides me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it could be out there already.
I mean, common knowledge. I mean, that's like, does everybody know? It's like, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I honestly don't. I just, that's why I was asking if maybe you knew. I mean, I didn't know if it was all over. Could be all over Twitter right now for all I know. I really don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. I mean, the documents are there. The case made. I mean, members of TR were told, that that this was going to be shared with the public. How I was going to do it was not disclosed, so that's a different matter. I did wish them Merry Christmas. So.
That was sweet.
Well, it's just, if you scroll to the bottom of the report, it says, yeah, this information is going to be shared with the public. Like, so it's not like it's not like, it caught them by surprise, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically speaking, Well,
I do not know. I do not know what the future holds.
Neither do I.
Time will tell. I'm really hoping for a better and less turbulent 2023. Listen, if there were some things that needed to get out there, then they needed to get out there, and we will deal with it as a community like we always do.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look good to outside investors, and so I'm of the belief, and a lot of people are going to call this FUD, and I'll let you know right now, and if it's okay, and I want to get your clearance. If it's, I think I already got it, but I'm going to get it again. If it's okay with you, I think this whole conversation is going to be a video, and I'm going to put it out there, and then I'll also include in all the documents and everything that you just sent to me, right? And there are going to,
you can do all that.
and I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can do that. It's fine.
Okay.
Sure.
And there are going to be those out there who are going to say that this is all FUD. But my opinion on that is when there are issues like this to deal with, we've got to get it. I know people would rather brush it under the rug, right? I always feel like you got to get it out there. You have to talk about it. You have to figure your way out of it and around it. I don't believe going around it is. I think go through it. Go through it and handle it and deal with it the best you can. So I personally don't consider it FUD. I consider it growing pains. It's like being in a relationship, and there's a big problem in the relationship, and you can just ignore it and go through every day, kind of, or you can bring it out in the open and talk about it and figure it out and get it over with, get through it.
Right. So, and then just to add, like, I do have other plans to release additional internal documents for the public. Plus that also includes recordings as well as for video. So, I mean, they are long, so they're going to be broken down into chunks, so that way it's more digestible. And then long forms, it'll be posted up on TR's main Twitter, YouTube channel. So that's just a little heads up for everybody, so it doesn't come up as a surprise.
Is it? Are there any legal issues with doing that, where people who may have been recorded didn't necessarily give consent for it to be public, particularly in the UK, right? And I can't think of it right now, but they have that thing where they have that law where you can't put any of their social media stuff out there, or they can ask you to take it down or whatever. I forget what that's called.
There's a privacy thing.
Yeah.
That prevents. I mean, I don't know for what matter. That is that case. I mean, I've been thinking about it as far as like privacy wise, but at this point, thing is, Tobias Zardar has given consent to go ahead and post. So that's one. So we're looking to break that up.
Okay. All right. The last thing I'm gonna ask you is, because you just and I appreciate that you just pronounced his name correctly, because everyone else says Tobias, and I even do it all the time, and I know it's Tobias, right?
I believe that's the correct
Tobias Tobias, because I've heard him say his name and he said Tobias. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. What do you think of this L1 task force?
It's a refreshing start.
Yeah.
It's a refreshing start. The other issue is the only concern that I have is, and hopefully Ed doesn't just let anybody in. Like, he gets real picky on who he lets in.
Mm-hmm.
If he just starts letting anybody in to help, it's like you're going to run into a Game of Thrones situation.
Well, if you succumb to community pressure and that faction who is always about, you can't appoint people, we should vote on who we want in there, and whoever wants to vote in, the popular guys, If you succumb to that, then it might not work out right, I think.
Yeah, that was the issue with the current, because like you have 10 mods, 1 dev.
Right.
Outvoting the dev.
Right.
You're gonna have a problem.
Right.
I mean, my stance is pretty clear that pure democracies always implode on itself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Learning lessons from even our founders, the framers of our country. Even made that explicitly clear. Like, I mean, do you want two wolves and a sheep trying to vote for what's going to be for dinner?
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
Probably not going to end well.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Probably not going to end well. So it's just, it's our, I mean, based on my preliminary report, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all. Hopefully we can cut the video up to give the public view of what was discussed. But if we can't get it to a point where I'm not confident where we can censor others out, we'll just scrap the project.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm well aware of the Privacy Act, and I'm willing to do my best to adhere to them.
Yeah.
But other than that, but yes, I do have everything. But if I get subpoenaed to release those over, I'm going to cooperate.
Okay. Alrighty. Well,
yeah.
It has been a pleasure. You got to throw some vowels up in your name because.
No, there's a reason.
You can't pronounce PSX.
I know. It's so difficult. So number one is just I grew up with PlayStation, obviously, and then it just stuck with it. Okay. Everybody complains to me. It's like, change your name. I was like, no. It's so difficult to pronounce that you still remember me.
Yeah. Well, we'll just call you PSX, I guess. All there is to it.
Work. Yeah, you don't have to say it, or just say it. People just use the first letter. Hey, P.
TX I like. All right, yeah. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate this. I wish I had gotten you on a lot sooner. You guys have been really shy about the invitation has been out for a while for all of you to come on and chat, and nobody's really taken up on it. So.
It's just I don't. I'm not. It's not that I'm shy. I just don't care to put myself out there.
Yeah.
I'm used to working behind the camera versus in front of it. If that's fair.
Right.
Sure. Like the camera's on me. Like this ought to be fun. Yeah. I just get awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as what's been going on behind the scenes, like most of us, we all have full-time jobs, and it's hard because it's the energy it takes that's required here to pull off what we want requires the same amount of resources.
Sure.
And then initially, like I was hoping to get everything streamlined to where I could be hands off, and then everybody would know what to do and then move things along. But instead, we're in this mess, and I'm compelled to. I didn't even know there was only they were down to four people. I had no idea.
That's I mean, I talked to I had some conversations yesterday. I was talking to some people yesterday, and that's the count that I got. It's not necessarily an official count, but off the top of this person's head, there were 6 that have left since around the time at least of the money dispersion and all that. And who was left is basically who I named. That there may be another 1 or 2 left, but that's the list that I got, again, unofficial.
Huh. That's interesting.
So.
It's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of hearsay. If Klan is, from what I can tell and what I've been told, I mean, I see it too. If Klan is notorious for deleting comments and communications, that could be a potentially legal offense if, again, if certain investigations are conducted.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Every time they talk or tweet, it's like, common like, attorneys will tell you, if you have representation, will tell you to shut up and don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, until they can get things figured out. So yeah, a lot of those screenshots of those communications, even in public, are often in now common practice, that tweets and any other electronic forms of communications are used as or quite often admissible as evidence in a court of law. So again, that's only if U.S. legal framework is applied.
Right. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I can't speak to what's been deleted, not been deleted. I can only say that, you know, in conversations, it appears to me that, you know, Clan and really everybody is pretty forthcoming with me. I can, you know, I can tell sometimes when things are being held back or whatever, but you know, what's going on internally or behind the scenes, I don't have access to that, obviously. So, right. You know, who knows? And
I know, and I'm very empathetic that you have an affinity love for the teams, the TR team, and it's just I mean, it sucks that, you know, our first conversation with someone I admire, it's like I'm gonna have to break your heart a little bit here.
Yeah, well, my heart's been breaking little by little over the past couple months. It really has. You know, I really had, I had not a lot of admiration for this team. You know, when it first set out, I think that was obvious. But as things have happened and things have started to break down, I've had to report on it, regardless of how I felt on it. I've had to call it as I see it. And you know, I put out a video probably a couple of days ago. I just don't know that whatever is left of TR can really bounce back from any of this. I don't know that there's anything left. But time will tell.
From PR, the answer is, can TR bounce back? Yes. It would be, but from a PR public relations and advertisement standpoint, it would be very expensive to pull off.
Yeah.
You know, but given the situation, there's very little to salvage, at least from a relationship standpoint between members of TR and the community itself. You know, and again, you know, and I'll make it very clear, I'm going to keep my boot on the neck, and I'm not taking it off until I see something that would give me confidence that things are going to change in a manner that would be deemed that would give some type of resolutions to the community.
Yeah.
At some capacity.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, I don't want to have to spend time put myself in the position. Nobody does. But the boot stays on the neck.
Well, as I said, I'm sure there are plenty in the community who appreciate that, and I share your hopes for this L1 task force. I believe that just as you said, I believe that it is kind of a shining light at the end of the tunnel. I believe it could be that, but you know, again, time will tell. You know, we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna let you go, unless you have something else that you wanted to get out before we wrap it up.
Yep, just want to go get some coffee.
Yeah, I hear you. I haven't had breakfast yet either. So, all right, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and it's going to take me a little while to get this video together because I want to include some of this stuff that you sent me. But I mean, thanks for your perspective and your viewpoint on things. I appreciate your candor.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
You too.
Yeah.
Bye.